My fascinating Renaissance friends. We are on episode 108. 108. Can you imagine that? And we're still in this journey, okay, towards making philosophy, on everyday reality, because this is really what makes us live intentional lives. And we've talked about that, and we've learned, from ancient Greek philosophers, and then ancient, philosophers from Asia like Confucius and Lao Tzu. Okay, and then we went in, and then we have gone to also the modern philosophers, and the most famous of them all is the Swiss-born British, author, and what they call the modern day philosopher, Alain de Botton. And we said that, he has a lot of resources that we can really use, in coming up with our own philosophies of life, so that, our life can be guided intentionally, and that's how we live fulfilled lives. Okay, I'd like to take one more. Okay, one of the modern philosophers. Again, a philosopher, we've said, is not just somebody who has a degree in philosophy, but anybody can, okay, because we can come up with words of wisdom that guide and that inspire. Okay, so anybody can. I told you about my mom, okay, and we will talk about, what are some of the philosophies of life I have developed for myself, and then I can help you how you go about doing yours. No? Okay. And so this guy, I don't know if I can pronounce his name correctly, is there in the caption. Okay, Bung Chul Han. And who is he? He is a Korean German philosopher. Can you imagine that? He's a Korean German. What beautiful combination. And he is a thinker on digital age, burnout, and modern society. How modern can you get when we talk about the digital age? We are in the digital age. AI, ChatGPT, and all of these, robots, Optimus robots, and all the rest of what is new in our, century. He said this, all right? The burnout society is not a society of prohibition, but of success, all right? Now, have you ever heard of the word paradox? Okay, now we will be talking about paradoxes. What's a paradox? A paradox a paradox is something that seems to be contradictory to each other. All right, something like the like I'm working on a book I have entitled, the freedom, the beauty, no, the freedom of the surrendered life. I mean, free and surrender, they don't go together, isn't it? If you surrender your life, you're not free. But I said there is freedom in a surrendered life. Okay, I'm not gonna give you a spoiler thing. Spoiler alert. I just told you that. Okay, it's still in the making, it's still being written. But anyway, there's a paradox. Isn't this a paradox? Okay, burnout, a burnout society. This is the number one malady of modern day man. They're burnout from work, burnout from stress, burnout. Okay, so a burnout society is not a society of prohibition, meaning, oh, then don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, it's prohibit. But it is of success, isn't it? We just have too much of everything, okay, that we burn out. We burn out, not because we lack. We burn out because we have too much. Right? And so what? That's why now you have the rise of minimalism. Less is more. That's another paradox. Less is more. What do you mean by that? Miss Malu, some people have a lot of things in the house. I have very few. But you said if I have very few, I have more. Yeah. Because you have less of distraction, the things which do not serve you, so that you have more happiness, out of what you already have. Okay? So talking about paradoxes, this is another one. Because when you go to TikTok and when you go to social media and you scroll, right? Please don't scroll very long. You, know? You scroll, you have a lot of tips on how to magnetize the man you have a crush on. Okay, attraction. How do you become an attractive woman? All of this, and this is what I have read, and it really hit me hard. And I'd like to, read it for you. I copied it somewhere. Okay, from someone. The paradox of attraction and magnetism. Whoa. Okay. The writer says, and this is a very good philosophy to remember and guide us. The more you try to get attraction and magnetism, the more it slips through your hands. So the more you try to grab it, the more it slips your hand. Okay, this is called forcing. Easy. Forcing. And anything forced, okay, pushed, forced, collapses, says. So what works? Well, the author says effortless action. So again, there's another paradox, isn't it? Action means you put a lot of effort, but the author says effortless action. Okay, so what does that mean? It's the flow state. A flow, you flow. Okay, when you press and engage doing what you love and forgetting anyone else is watching and you're trying to attract them. All right? Effortless action is doing, engaging in what you really love and forgetting about everybody, whether they're watching or appreciating or say anything about it. No? And then the example he gave is an artist who is lost in his or her brush strokes, which means he's so focused on his art that he doesn't even care what other people are saying, you know? And that is actually what makes them magnetic. Why? He says when a person is so alive, in their own skin, it just pulls people in, meaning they are so alive in being who they are, and that is the one that's the one that makes them attractive. Okay, and that's when they get to have a magnetic personality. They're not performing, they're just being without trying so hard. Okay, ironically, that's how they become magnetic. Can you imagine that? Without trying, that's when they become magnetic. The moment you stop chasing, okay, an image, like this is how people should see me. They should see me as this. The moment you stop chasing an image, you become an experience. Okay? And that's what people truly fall for. Someone who's just present, someone who just is. Okay? So stop being who you're not. People people will feel you before you even say a word. So, being an authentic person is the same as being an attractive and magnetic person. Isn't that great? Huh? Isn't that great? Okay, so there's another paradox that I'd like to share with you, but not now, because this is something that, again, is an oxymoron. An oxymoron is something that negates itself. Like like effortless action. And things like that. So um, I am interested to find out what other paradoxes have you experienced in your life. Like the more you own stuff, the less you become happy. According to one research, the more you have a lot of things, the less happy you become and the more discontented you become, which is really weird, isn't it? So if you like what you've heard, please, don't forget to please like and subscribe so we can, go together in this journey, and more will be shared as we go along. So, my fascinating Renaissance friends, I'll see you next time. This is Miss Malu, your fellow sojourner in the autumn of our life. Goodbye.